94.5 Virgin Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Jonny, Holly, and Nira from Virgin Radio Vancouver, and we're doing Breakfast in Barbados with OneRepublic. We got Ryan and Zach. What's up, boys?
Yo.
How you doing?
Okay, first of all, first things first. We are in Barbados. It is 27 degrees. Is this how you guys perform jeans and these runners? Like, are you not sweating it out right now?
I'm actually not sweating right now. I
No?
know it sounds crazy, but like, I also just took a shower, so I kind of cooled off.
Cold shower.
I haven't been.
concerned after the show how you're going to get them off.
Yeah, exactly.
We're used to this. We used to play, this is, I mean, in all honesty, nothing, compared to Southeast Asia,
Oh,
nothing.
right.
It's like 28 degrees right now.
Yeah.
It's nighttime and 28
Like,
degrees.
Johnny
now-
keeps
so now-
asking for like a napkin.
So now imagine 42 degrees
Wow.
in the sun in Singapore, and that's what, like, we've done gigs where
Wow.
you walk off stage and you're getting, they have like an AC set to like 0, blasting you
Wow.
with water because people pass out.
No way.
Well,
Yeah.
J-Lo has like professional nipple tweakers. Do you guys have like professional gene peelers?
No, we just help
Man,
each
that
other.
sounds-
Oh, that's fine.
We
Can
end
we
up
be
just-
invited to this party?
Yeah,
you
you
can.
can.
Are you
One guy
hiring?
grabs one side, one the other.
Because we want to create this job.
Yeah, you just kind of get used to being gross, and then once you give into it, then like, when you take a shower, it feels like you're like literally you've shed your skin and you're a new
Yeah.
human being. It's
Wow,
amazing.
you probably lose 5 during the show.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting
Great,
jeans
great
on.
new diet.
I'm putting jeans on.
Let's go
right
get
now.
jeans
Yeah,
now.
that's the
For
diet.
sure we do.
Jeans.
For
Okay,
sure we
well,
do.
actually, Ryan, one of the nicknames they have for you in the industry is they call you the undercover king of pop because
Funny.
you have worked with some of the biggest names like
Yeah.
Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and you've worked with One Direction. Now, out of all the people you've worked with, who was your favorite? Are you allowed to even say who your favorite was?
I'm pretty vocal about that. I mean, like, my favorite experience, just because it was, I kind of felt like I was part of something that was going to be special. I just had a feeling, and it was Adele on 21.
that's awesome.
yes.
So I did 2 songs with her on that album, and that was my favorite experience I've had in the studio. But I've had so many other incredible experiences. Like I've from artist to artist. I have an experience we were talking about Ed Sheeran a minute ago. Like, we played the O2 in London, I don't know how many, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it was. And he and I stayed up. We met up on the set of X Factor because we performed the X Factor too.
Which is
Right.
really cool.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
the UK.
Simon
Cool
Cowell's
show.
a huge fan of yours, by the
Yeah,
way.
Simon and I are good friends, and
Oh my
we.
God, imagine saying that. Like,
Yeah,
all me
yeah,
and Simon
Simon,
Cowell,
yeah,
we're
we're
awesome.
friends.
Yeah. Zach, you as well, right?
No, I actually
They're besties.
No, I met him once. I have no clue.
Simon applies his pasties when he wears pasties.
Oh, that's
Nipple
awesome.
tweaker. There we
Nipple
go.
tweaker.
Yeah, he's a
Simon
tweaker.
peels
Yeah.
your pants.
Yeah, there
So
we
he puts
go.
them on, and Ryan takes them
Yeah,
off.
there we
Exactly.
go.
But
Yeah.
like Ed and I stayed up till like probably 8 or 9 in the morning writing a record in my hotel room. I had a studio set up, and we just kept drinking coffee and Red Bull like to finish the song. And I've got experiences in Greece with the band that beat anything I've ever experienced. I mean, honestly, we're very lucky, very blessed. I have too many insane experiences. I've already filled the bucket list.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Kind of on that note, bucket list, YOLO living. You wrote the song "I Live,"
Yes.
and it's a very powerful song. And I know, did you write it? You wrote it for your son.
I wrote it for my kid, yeah.
And
Aw.
do you live that way? Because those lyrics are pretty powerful.
I do.
about living life to the
I
fullest.
definitely. I don't think anyone would ever. There's a lot of. Everybody has their flaws. I definitely have mine. Mine are. If you live with me long enough, they're fairly obvious. As is with
We
anybody.
can't see them right now, but
No. Right now I'm hashtag flawless.
Please.
Okay, Beyonce, continue.
All caps. All caps.
Wow.
All caps. But I would say, one thing I definitely that nobody would accuse me of is not doing, not like following through with what I say. If I start to talk about, hey, I have this idea, or hey, I think this
Yeah.
would be cool. If I say it enough times, and kind of anyone that knows me knows, all right, he's gonna do that. And come hell or high water, it's gonna happen. And I've just always been that way. So I'm also the guy, like, if I'm in a country or a city for 12 hours, I have literally mapped out for those 12 hours, okay, I'm going to see every single thing humanly possible in 12 hours, and I'm going to take it in, I'm going to document it, I'm going to eat it, drink it, whatever, experience it, and then I'm going to pass out on the plane.
Perfect.
Well, that song is basically like, remember in 2000, Leanne Womack, I Hope You Dance? Like
That's my favorite.
I
Oh!
know!
That was, hey,
We always
no,
say, that's
that was
Leanne
my,
Womack.
so For the record,
Yes.
Leanne Womack, I Hope You Dance was the inspiration for I Lived.
Oh,
that is
I
why
knew
I
it.
wrote that
But
song.
it's like a dude side of it. Like that's what's
I am.
so cool.
It's like the
I,
cool non-mom
I Hope You
version.
Dance.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with the
No.
mom
Whatever.
version.
Whatever.
No, that's like the non-soccer mom version. But like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I lived. Honestly, I watched the video, and I have two
She
little
cries
boys. I have
and-
2 little boys, 4 and under, and I bawled.
I have
just
2 as
bawled
well.
and bawled and, and
It does that.
It was the ugly ball.
It makes people. It makes. I actually, the first time I saw the video, I teared up because
Yeah.
I hadn't known. I knew what
Yeah.
the story was. I didn't know how it was going to come across, and that song was me, my feeble attempt at like doing some iteration of I Hope You Dance, because I Hope You Dance. Whoever wrote, I don't even know who wrote that song, but whoever wrote that song, that is. I have maybe a list of like 5 or 6 songs that in this world I wish I wrote.
Yeah.
Like could go back in time. I wish I wrote it, and that's one of them.
Wow.
Can you
That's
give me one
cool.
more from that list?
That's cool.
Jeff Buckley, Last Goodbye, and another one.
A Beatles song, guaranteed, right? Hey,
Speaking of
Paradise
Barbados. Barbados. As many insane songs as Rihanna has put out.
Yeah.
The other day I was in LA,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago, driving up the 405, like the main crazy highway
yeah.
there, at like late at night, at like I want to say it was like midnight, and Umbrella came on,
Umbrella
That
dope
is my
song.
favorite.
and I was
I love
like,
Umbrella.
and I was like, oh my
yeah,
god! I
it's
almost
so
pulled the
good.
car over because I hadn't heard it in like 3
Yeah.
years, and to this day, that is by far my favorite song,
It is.
and I
Eh,
all of it.
Well, going back to a song you guys actually did write, Apologize.
Yeah.
I have that on my cool down track, like when I'm at the gym, and
Oh,
I just
nice.
to myself.
And also fights with her husband. Let's
After
be
I talk,
honest, on Nira.
That song, I cannot let it go. Apologize. I can't. But what was the inspiration? Like, it's too late to apologize. Who are you guys talking to?
He broke my heart.
What's the story, right?
Zach is a heartbreaker. He's
What
very fine.
happened?
It's an everyday pop song about bitterness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, what like,
And
that is
resentment.
deep.
I wrote it over the course of 6 months in like, oh my god, a long time ago, like it's probably 2003, 2004, and it was about relationships. It was kind of my last, because at that point I had a pretty serious girlfriend, so Apologize, and who I ended up marrying. So that was my last, like, artists like Taylor. She
Yeah.
has, one advantage. She has a lot of advantages. One of them is, and I think
Dating frequently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you are single and you are dating, whether you're a guy or a girl, the amount between like the falling in love and the heartbreak and falling in
Yeah.
love with the heart, the amount of like fodder you get for songwriting is endless.
Yes.
The moment you're in like a long-term committed relationship,
Something stable,
you're happy,
easy,
you have
wonderful.
you have to find other sources and other inspirations that
Yeah.
aren't just about relationship, and which for us has been amazing because we've been that band that's been able to write about, like, we have the songs that aren't about, hey, let's just hook up tonight and popping bottles and like hands in the air and oh my god, you or you
Not
broke
that
my
there's
heart.
anything wrong.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah,
Bottle,
exactly.
Service.
bottle service is fun. But and there's plenty of artists, Lord knows, that get to write those songs, but we have to find those topics that are the less obvious that still people resonate with. Apologize was the last like true like relationship song that I wrote that was about all my dating experience.
I love
and
it. It's one of my
a
favorite
couple
songs.
girls that
So
that,
good.
that frankly like, I felt played by, I
Yeah.
felt screwed by it, and
Yes.
so I was, and then they came back, or 3 of them came back around eventually, and actually apologized to me.
And do you say it's too late? Please say yes.
And one of them, I won't say who it was, but there was
First and last name only then.
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost got it.
Yeah, so I have their social security number. That's it.
yeah.
One of them in particular wrote me a letter, and it was very kind and very nice, and it had been like 3 years. It was one of the first girls I really felt hard for, and I was gutted when she was like, let's be friends, and like
Yeah.
maybe she was like, you're the kind of guy I want to marry, like when I'm in my 20s, but I don't want to date right now.
Ew, gross.
And I was like 17.
Run.
I know.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Jeez.
so long story short, I wrote back at some point, was like, I thank you so much for this letter and blah, 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 but it's a little too late to
Yeah.
apologize right now. I mean, I
Nice.
actually did say that.
Yeah.
We have
So-
less than 30 seconds. Ryan, Zach,
Yeah.
what's next for OneRepublic?
What album are we on now?
Where are we?
Where are we in this book?
I'm focusing on the next Susan Boyle album right now.
Amazing.
We're making a new album.
project.
We're halfway through recording kind of all over the world. We're documenting it as much as possible to attempt to do a documentary about our life in the process, all the craziness. Like LA last night for dinner, tonight's Barbados, tomorrow night's Quebec City.
Wow.
Like trying to figure out how do you capture that in on video. So making an album and beating everything we've ever done, like writing the absolute best songs. We're writing 4 times as many ideas as I've ever come up with to make one album.
Nice.
So
Awesome. Universal Music's very own OneRepublic.
Thank
Ryan,
you.
Zach, thank you so much, boys.
So
Thank
good.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Beijing
guys.
style.
Thank you
Yes.
so
Nice to
much.
meet you.
Thank you.
boom.
94.5 Virgin Radio.